This episode of Witchpolice Radio is brought to you by our friends at the Park Theatre, who have a number of great shows coming up. For more information, visit myparktheatre.com.
Thank you to everyone who supports my dad's show. Thanks to listeners like the Winnipeg Music Project, the podcast can continue producing great content. If you'd like to support Witchpolice Radio, go to patreon.com/witchpolice today.
You're listening to Garbage Hill, Winnipeg's first podcast network.
Welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I am once again in the mall, in a different part of the mall this time. It seems to be like my regular location these days. But I'm here with the Sturgeons, or I was going to say two members of, but you guys are essentially the band. Yeah. So you want to introduce yourselves, and then people can put a name to the voice?
No, I'm Luke Hamilton.
And I'm Cal Hamilton.
And what are your respective roles within the band?
Oh, I play drums and do backup vocals, and
I'm more the, I guess, the acoustic and songwriter kind of guy.
Okay. And then how long has this been a project? I mean, I know you guys have been in other projects as well. I mean, you were on the show previously, a couple of years back with Rory.
Yes.
On an episode of the podcast. So, I mean, how long has the Sturgeons itself been a unit?
well, I think it's kind of we've been going for quite a few years now. I think it's almost like 12 years. I think when we first put the group together. Yeah. So I mean, we haven't been always playing every day or anything like that, but yeah, it's been quite a while.
Okay, it's been a while. And this is the third record in that time?
Third record, yeah.
Okay. So what, I mean, this is the worst question to ask. I hate asking this question because it's hard to answer, but how do you define what the sound is? Because, I mean, it's easy to, whenever someone releases an album, they try to categorize it in some kind of genre grouping, but, I mean, just like, if someone says, hey, I heard you're in a band, how do you guys describe it? How do you...
Well, we generally gravitate to folk roots, because that's...
Yeah, I think the definition of folk, I think, is more just kind of winging it, and experiencing music and not looking at theory-based or looking at the genre style. You're just expressing yourself, and that's what we do. Really.
Sure. Okay. Because folk is such a big folk is such a big umbrella genre too, right? So, I mean, is there someone that you kind of would liken it to? Like when I was listening to it, I definitely got a band vibe off it, and I don't know if that's what.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to put the band as.
That's the problem too, right?
I don't know if there's another band that sounds like that.
Yeah. They sort of go roots Americana sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess
that
so.
even is
just to gauge.
Well, I mean, we definitely have influences and stuff, but I think when we go into recording, we're not so focused on like what we want to sound like. We want to sound like ourselves.
Okay.
So obviously there are influences there, or whatever we're listening at the time. But this has been an album in the making for over a couple of years, so it was definitely varies.
Okay. Has the sound? I mean, have you felt that the sound has progressed considerably over the course of the three albums? Like, have you? How has it changed? Right.
I think we've kind of really developed our own sound. Okay. I think that's definitely come to the third album. What do you think, Cal?
Yeah, sure. Well, this album's a little unique because Luke and I were looking to buy a house together.
Okay.
And we've been traveling around and staying in different places, and we've been recording it ourselves in multiple different places. So it's almost kind of like a collage of mixed tones and stuff like that.
That you're getting from the different spots?
Typically from a studio, everyone goes in, they know exactly what they're doing, and then they just replicate it. We kind of let it grow and change, even though sometimes we play with different people too, or it changes sometimes just by not playing it in a while, and so we kind of just let it be with what it was and try to fit the songs in together as best as possible.
Do you feel like that in listening back to the album, do you feel like that's obvious on it? Like, can you
no,
tell?
I don't think so. Actually, like I came up with a set list and I listened to it the order I thought, and I disagreed with myself entirely. And then Luke kind of organized them in a way where I was like, well, yeah, that sounds like a whole album.
Right.
So
Yeah. So when you're doing it kind of piecemeal like that, different spots and all that, do you feel like the songs themselves tied together as a single thought? Maybe, I mean, not that it has to be a concept album or anything like that, but I mean, just as a single piece from start to finish, did you feel like the songs, even though they were sort of recorded in different places and put together, do you think it cohesively fits as a...
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
a lot
very
of
much
songs
so,
are kind of similar. Yeah. Except for the, I guess Let It Shine is kind of the upbeat springtime feel after a long winter.
Right.
We got to break it up.
Very Winnipeg, I guess, feeling. For sure, yeah.
And the rest of the album is, I guess, is probably over the winter and the feelings.
Right. Okay. Do you think there is like a tone to it though? I mean, a seasonal tone to it? Because that's a lot of people unintentionally make seasonal albums. Just in the sometimes even the sound evokes something, right? Do you feel like there's a seasonal tone to this, or is it?
I don't know about seasonal. I mean, it's definitely generally like a more like easy listening type of album, you know. Yeah, it's not in your face or anything like that. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's a more relaxed kind of feel. We've been jamming more songs and stuff, and we've been kind of doing more upbeat stuff. But this album's kind of a nice, a listening one. Like you're gonna want to listen. And
like when you sit down, put the headphones on.
Say, you know.
Yeah. Cool.
Or what we get a lot with our other albums is it's always in the car.
Right. Okay.
You know, like the CD stuck in there. The CD player there.
So because you're listening to it kind of
well,
in motion, right?
Yeah.
But that's kind of almost a common thing with sort of more, not to use the word easy listening, but I know you said it a minute ago. Yeah. But it's there while you're doing other stuff, right? It's versus some music is so complex that you have to sit down and like do math equations while you're.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
How does that work? How does that work?
Yeah.
Ours is really easy listening. I think that's the biggest thing when people watch us. They feel relaxed. They feel happy and just comfortable.
Okay.
Even though sometimes we talk about some kind of deep, depressive stuff sometimes, but people almost feel humbled by it.
Sure.
Kind of in a way, yeah.
Okay. And then as a duo that involves other people to kind of flesh out the sound, how was the songwriting process for the two of you?
Well, this album was pretty interesting in the songwriting process. Like as we mentioned before, it's quite a long span. Mm-hmm. But Cal would really bring something on the guitar or whatever. But this time we made a point to work together on writing the arrangements, and then we actually ended up almost, for most of the songs, I think, writing the lyrics last.
Okay.
And working together on that to try to figure out what works best between the two of us.
Is that different from previous albums, or?
Well, the last album I think was generally more Cal's songwriting and what he brought, you know. And this one we definitely kind of worked more together.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a couple of songs where Luke and I definitely, like I had a couple in there that I've already done and written, and then Luke put some drums in.
Okay.
And then like kind of the next half of it is kind of Luke kind of wanting to come in and starting to write more lyrics, and he's starting to play guitar too.
Okay.
Kind of doing his thing. So there's there's a kind of a nice combination between the two of where we're going now in our songwriting.
Okay. And then when you have other people who play with you live, and obviously on the record as well. How do the songs change once that gets expanded? I mean, do you dictate sort of here's what you want out of the other players, or do they bring something to it as well that changes the?
They definitely bring something to it. Like Rory's just definitely, he's been playing with us for a while now, and like I said, he always says it takes a certain person to play with us because we're such field musicians.
Right.
We're not that technical guys or whatever, and he's just kind of locked into us every time. He surprises me with what he comes up with, and I'm like, oh. I didn't hear that in my head at all.
Right,
like, oh my god, it's awesome. So we go with it. Yeah.
Okay. What is he playing with you guys? Steel or?
Mostly steel, yeah. There's a little banjo and harmonica.
Okay. Do you kind of envision when you're writing the songs what it's going to sound like fleshed out like that, or is it sort of a surprise almost what he and the others?
It's a surprise. I mean, some of the songs I definitely kind of had something already going into it, and then bringing Luke in the drums.
Okay.
Sometimes kind of changes the vibe of it. But yeah, generally we kind of go with the flow. We let it grow with what's happening. It's kind of what we like to play music. Letting that experience.
And that sort of fits with what you were saying before too about the kind of laid backness of it and the relaxing sort of vibe. I can see that being part of it, right?
Yeah, we're not going in there to try to figure out something that everybody's going to like and try to do this whole package and show it off like this brand new piece of equipment. There's life there. It can change. The song itself is good and can be changed, and sound just as good. I think there's more to it. Okay.
Do you, when you perform, obviously you perform with the full band, but do you perform as a duo as well, or is it usually?
We can, occasionally we do the duo, but we usually like to bring Rory in to make us sound real good.
Okay. Do the little lead parts and stuff.
For sure.
Filler or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I'm more the rhythm kind of singing guy, and so I think the trio always works best.
Okay. I guess as far as the drums go, like again with folk music being a large term, there's a lot of different subgenres in there, but drums and folk don't necessarily always go together, right? I mean, there's a lot of almost the majority, I think, don't use drums. They use like a minor amount of percussion.
Yeah.
So how does that affect kind of how you what you bring to it as far as drums? I mean, is it limiting, or is it? Do you feel like
it is pretty limiting? Because I definitely feel that kind of the struggle with the folk, like because it's not it's very simple drums, right?
Right. Yeah.
Which for me, I think almost makes it harder. You know, when you sit on a drum set, you just want to hit everything.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But this thing, you got to slow it down and feel out the song. Yeah, it's more about the song again.
Especially when you're writing the two of you, like guitar and drums, how does that? I'm trying to think of what to word the question here, but it almost feels like it would have more kind of, I don't know if power is the right word, but more active than just someone with acoustic guitar, I guess, because the drums are providing that.
Yeah, it elevates and drums always get people dancing.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
just because it's so in your face like that. But yeah. I also play percussion on a lot of these things too. Not necessarily. Not all songs have the whole kit in there. Just depending on what we want to go with, in what direction, right?
Yeah, there's a decent amount of songs on the album where I've kind of had a little bit of something where I've kind of played by myself and figured this song out, and I brought to Luke, and Luke plays the drums, where I'm like, oh, okay, that's not going to work no more.
Right.
Now we have to change it just to kind of fit in the drums or whatever, and then it kind of builds into a different song then too, right? So that's where it comes in and it changes. Like Black and White is a really good one for that. I had a definitely different vision in my head when we had the drums, and even we had a pretty long discussion on how we were going to do it, because it was kind of an interesting change, you know, so we definitely had to work at it.
Cool.
I walk alone, and it's all my fault. I'm standing still on the treadmill as I watch the days go by and slow down to a crawl, wondering whether there's a place where I could fit in it all. Can't bear the pain that I've caused, thinking about the ones I love and the ones that fall. Give me love, I need love to hold me up before I slip away. It's getting harder and harder to stumble through the day. I'm at a tune and I don't give a damn. I'm at a time 'cause I'm drunk on wine. Everything you do just makes me cry. I'm out of time 'cause I'm drunk on wine. I got to escape, now who am I kidding? I don't belong in this world. Need to flip the page and read on if I want to stay sane. Feeling run down, but still alive. Maybe playing the night of time. I don't care, I've got to move on, but I may already lost my mind. I'm at a tune and I don't give a damn. I'm at a time 'cause I'm drunk on wine. Everything you do just makes me cry. I'm at a time 'cause I'm drunk on wine. I don't really want to go, and I need someone to lean on. When will I finish this game that I'm playing? It's a fool's game. I'm at a tune and I don't give a damn. I'm at a time 'cause I'm drunk on wine. Everything Everything you do just makes me cry. I'm out of time 'cause I'm drunk on wine. I'm out of tune and I don't give a damn. I'm out of time 'cause I'm drunk on wine. Everything you do just makes me cry. I'm out of time 'cause I'm drunk on wine.
I mean, you guys are also in Rory's band.
Yes.
And are you doing anything else as well, or is that just the 2 projects right now?
Just the 2 projects at the moment, yeah.
How do you balance those? Because it seems like Rory's, the Ruckus is playing a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Or at least recently it seems like I'm singing.
Rory's been doing more solo shows.
Yeah, he's been
lately.
open mic stuff and everything too.
Yeah, he's been pushing that a lot. So every once in a while we'll get a Ruckus gig, and that's always fun. So that doesn't take up too much of our time.
Okay.
We both have full-time jobs too. So
yeah, for sure.
It was definitely a juggling act to do all this for sure. But
Is because Rory's involved with you guys as well doing this project, is there a lot of crossover between the 2 groups? I mean, do you feel like maybe something would fit better with one or the other, or is it very distinct, like this is the Sturgeons, this is the Ruckus kind of thing?
I think it's pretty clear.
I mean, when Rory first started too, I think we kind of initiated that, like, you know what, let's focus on Rory's stuff with him doing his thing, and then we've kind of kept it separate from that, just to keep it simple. But then again, he still comes in tours with us.
Right.
So
Yeah.
an opening set or something like that a lot of the times. But as far as songs go, I think like some of the other guys, we just really like Rory's songs more.
Yeah, he's got good songs for sure. Yeah.
He's such an honest, nice guy that we're always pushing like, no, your stuff.
Yeah,
stuff.
sure, yeah.
You know, like.
Well, I guess the reason I ask is because I feel like it seems like it might be hard when you have the 3 of you and the 3 of you, regardless of who else is involved, to. Like, it feels like they might blend into each other a little bit because you're playing together so much, right?
Yeah, it's true, and we definitely share similar bandmates as well. So, I mean, there is a point where it's like, okay, well, why don't we be a super group? But I think it's different. And I think we like let Rory have his own thing as well. You know, he's been with us for so long, and he writes great music. So I mean, we're big fans. I mean, that's how his band started. Is we were just all big fans of his music. We're starting a band for you.
That's cool. That's really cool. Well, that's what you want, right? You want to be fans of each other's work.
Yeah, exactly.
Together, for sure.
You know, and like that passion and that, so it really gives you that drive.
One thing that I don't know if I brought this up like a couple of years ago when we talked to the Rory's band with you guys, but I've always found that Winnipeg definitely gravitates towards roots, towards folk, towards country, towards all of those genres in that umbrella again. Mm-hmm. But I think that Winnipeggers tend to like their folk music to sound a little bit more raw a lot of the time. They like it to have kind of almost a punk edge at times, and some of those bands are very successful. You guys are almost the opposite of that with the it's very, like you said, easy and relaxed and everything. So how do you feel you fit into the local folk scene? Do you think there's a lot of other artists who are doing something similar to you, or you think there's I don't know. You know what I mean though? Like there seems like there's definitely like kind of a brokenness people enjoy to a lot of folk type bands where there's something.
Yeah, that's how I feel like we are. But it's nice that you said we're nice and smooth.
Well, it doesn't listening to the record, it doesn't sound like that. But maybe that's there under the surface.
True, right? Like the raspy voices or the broken down.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
I think that it kind of brings back to like the Sturgeons, and Rory is like Rory's when he sings, he's got this character voice, like folk side of thing, right? Where it's like you recognize that voice. When it comes to the Sturgeons, we definitely have just softer voices, and sometimes we almost think we wish we had more of a character voice, but it's just a totally different style of singing.
Yeah,
Rory's been joining in singing with us now too, and it fits really nice because of that.
To break it up.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. Do you guys have very similar voices when you sing?
We
or?
do.
Yeah,
pretty similar. Yeah.
No way.
I mean, I wouldn't have guessed, right?
Yeah.
But how do you? I mean, as far as the vocals go, how long do you spend working on those? rather than the music? I mean, how much is actually spent on the singing? Because again, it does sound very, to me anyway, listening to the album, it's very smooth and it's very like proper almost. Does that make sense? Like there's not that broken edge to it. It sounds like you're hitting everything the way it's supposed to be hit. So is there a lot of kind of vocal practice you guys do just to make that happen? Or
like even as kids, we were always replicating like even Disney movies. And different character voices, and we're always there's a lot we get to do with our voice, right? Rather than a voice where this is that singing style and fits.
Sure.
Now I get into trouble sometimes where I'm trying to sing some raspy stuff, and I've actually got some people wanting me to play it again, but I'm like, it's kind of like cheating myself here,
Yeah.
So there's a whole range of stuff we can do because we've done that as kids. Like we listened to Weird Al when we were kids.
Well, me too. Yeah.
We sung Weird Al and changed our voices and tried to replicate cool noises.
Cool. Okay.
People think we're crazy sometimes.
Yeah. Well, it works obviously.
Always making noises, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's
cool.
something. Yeah. I'm always playing guitar, and a lot of times when we're playing the instruments, I'm singing gibberish. It's not even words.
Okay.
Like I'll just.
And then you fill in the words after.
Or? So it does. And words sometimes happen, and then I go with that.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
It took us a long time to narrow down the words for most of these songs, or some of these songs anyway. Yeah.
How long do you live with them as gibberish before you actually put the words in?
A long time.
Yeah.
Depends. If something comes out, there's been a couple songs like I remember Jaber off our first album. That thing wrote itself in the time of the song.
Okay.
I still cringe at some of the lyrics in it actually, but melody was good.
Right.
It sounded right and it fit at the moment, so I didn't mess with it, But
well, there's something to be said for once the lyrics are written down, where you can kind of almost like lose the natural feel of the song.
Right.
In ways, I know that's kind of Cal's way. It's just like he wants to be involved in the song, and once it's written down, it's like you're just reading.
Right. The spontaneity is going
to change sometimes as long as that melody is there, right? I mean, I actually joined Rory in his open mic the other night and sung an old song that he used to sing. I told him.
Oh yeah.
And all new words. So I was like, oh. And they're all good. And then he keeps on changing them because he's not standing. I'm like, no, they're all good.
Yeah. Well, the melody's there, so it's recognizable as the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's still there. Yeah.
That's cool.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I can't seem to love the ones close to me because of my paranoid love. And now it seems too late and harder to find a wife. Well, I feel that I've shown the love that I truly have. When others say I don't, well, it makes me feel so sad. Sad and alone is a broken soul. I feel it coming back. That scary feeling that I might be falling off the track. The story of a broken man. The story of a broken man. Pounds to the earth and all my love for real. And I'm still trying to find out will I feel and sink with me as the leaves in the breeze, but not the ones that drown me. I spin around and round and on I go, still not in the right way. And now I feel that I may have welcomed my stay. Sad and alone is a broken soul. I feel it coming back. The scary feeling that I might be falling off the track. Sad and alone is a broken soul. I feel it coming back. The scary feeling that I might be broken man. The story of a broken man. The story of a broken man.
Who do you guys point to as an influence for what you're doing? I mean, like, you know, in the age of everyone listening to stuff on the internet all the time, there's the recommended if you like kind of thing. What would be in your category there for that?
That's a tough one. I mean, I have to say the Everly Brothers.
Okay.
I mean, that one just definitely relates to the way we play and sing and that, so that's a big one. And of course, the band as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just
that was the first thing I thought of.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what it was.
I think it was the keys in it, really.
That might be
because I think that's what Alex said when we got him into the studio. Is he's like, I'm really getting kind of like a band vibe, and so that's kind of what he was going for.
But that's also the keys for sure. Yeah. But that's also a group with a lot of different vocals, a lot of different vocalists too, who are kind of all filling in when they need to, and that kind of thing.
We're a big fan of lots of vocals.
Yeah.
There's a couple of songs on our album where it's just overdub vocals and less live vocals.
Yeah. How does that work live then? If it's a lot of overdubs, do you just simplify it, or?
Yeah.
You just leave some of the extra ones out that you don't really hear almost per se in the album because they're oohs or ahs.
Okay, yeah.
But there's still like the harmony, and plus we got Luke, me, and Roy, there's 3 people singing.
Right, so you can, that's cool. Well, the reason I asked a bit earlier too about like whether you play as a duo versus playing with a full band is I often wonder when people, you said you have the trio going too with Rory, right? But how do you how do you fill in the spots, I guess, that would have been there with, say, guitarist or piano player or things like that when you're stripped down like that? Like, what? It's always something I'm curious about.
That's why we grabbed Rory.
right. But I mean, does it have to be restructured, or you basically just go with what you have available and still deliver it the same way?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Pretty well. I mean, except for like solo sections, you can kind of just cut it short if you don't have access to that kind of thing or whatever. But we try to mimic it as best as possible.
Okay. And does it work usually, or?
Yeah. It does, yeah. Because I mean, it brings down to when he first writes it, right? Like then when we get in recording, it develops and it becomes a bigger thing. I mean, if we spent so much time on it, we like an orchestra with the recordings, of course. But that's a whole lot. So.
But you're not bringing in violins and extra choirs and shit like that.
Yeah.
I want.
We'd love to do that.
Maybe next one, right?
But we also do the album all ourselves. Like I recorded everything, so and Luke did all the design work, everything. So
is that always the case with your albums too? Have you done them all like that, or?
No, not quite. No, close. I've helped on all 3.
Okay.
The first one we did with our friend Lee, who also plays with Rory.
Okay.
The next one we did with Jay.
Jay took from Nashville, yes.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But we also, we did recording ourselves.
Is that a preference? Like, do you prefer being that involved right down to the artwork and stuff, or?
Yeah, I think so.
We like being homegrown stuff, like rebels against the rest of the stuff. It's just like to keep things real. We want people to know that that's us on stage, not this image of us.
Sure.
On stage, We want people
to do everything
to interact with us just as much as they're enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting too, because I just kind of like what I was saying about the my take on the whole root scene locally is that I also feel like Winnipeg music fans of whatever genre kind of put a premium on authenticity. I was talking to a hip hop artist the other day, and the same thing came up. It's people can tell. I don't know if it's because the music scene is so kind of tight knit here in the city. People can identify bullshit really quickly, and will just pass it off and go on to the next thing, right? So, like, I think that might be kind of what you're getting at too. Is that you can tell it's real, and the fact that you guys are putting in that level of effort on different aspects of it, it reads as genuine versus,
you want someone. We want our audience to feel something, not just there to have some background music to jump around to.
Right.
A lot of concerts these days, when I work at the MTS Center, some good acts too, but they're just playing their old stuff to kind of keep going.
Yeah.
And it's just like straight based, and some of them don't even like each other anymore.
Yeah, they're just there for the paycheck.
I can't fathom like playing in a band on stage and not liking each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. So they're just kind of going through the motions. We want the audience to feel something, whether that's like sometimes it could be depressing, but people have those feelings, and it shouldn't be shy to not have those feelings.
You want to get some kind of legitimate feel from it.
Everybody's always like, oh, I'm going to be happy all the time. Well, you can't be unless you're sad first, really.
Right, because you have to get past the sad. And that's interesting too, because folk music definitely has kind of both of those aspects. It can be extremely depressing, and it can also be super upbeat and kind of carefree and joyful.
Or even, you can have the lyrics depressing, but then the song.
Yeah, that actually happens a lot, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the songs where I have, they're a little dark topic-wise, but the end overall feeling is supposed to be uplifting, right?
Right.
Like, you've gotten through this feeling, and you're good, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's life.
Everyone goes
you
through
got to
it, yeah.
go through that stuff to feel good about yourself.
Right.
Just let it dwell, or, blah, blah, blah.
Well, yeah, it can be a constant downer. No one's going to want to hear it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, some people might, but maybe
well,
not.
when you tour and you do a lot of bar scenes or whatever, it's tough to get some crowds that want to listen, but then it's a loud bar. It's tough. So
Yeah.
And that's why we've been actually jamming a lot of more upbeat stuff and trying to work on it. But I always find it sometimes harder to write an upbeat song.
Yeah.
Well, I sit here in the sun, feeling a little disconnected with the rest of them. Well, I know that I'm a nice guy, but I still feel I need another shot of rum. I'm 3 screws loose, with the last one's threaded. Maybe I'll fall apart anytime now, without someone there holding my hand. I stood alone for every day of my life, fighting in a direction which I no longer know. Fear of losing it just may scare you away, but I know for sure that you are the one who guide me through this grave. Guide me through this grave. Hoping my screams make it through the trees, believing in something that may just be make believe, looking for that something down this dirt road. Found the end of the line and I'm still all alone. I stood alone for every day of my life, fighting in a direction which I no longer know. Fear of losing it just may scare you away, but I know for sure that you are the one who guide me through this grave. 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 Guide me through this grave.
maybe I don't know if this is why for you, but it almost seems like an upbeat song is harder to be genuine with because you're trying too hard to make something that makes people happy versus just
expressing something.
Expressing whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how I write usually. Is sometimes songs just pop. They start.
And that's why
catch it. I gotta reel it in.
Yeah.
Like that's why I always say songwriting's like fishing. Like sometimes you don't get it. You get hooked or whatever.
Right.
You pull in a little bit and then you get lost. And sometimes
line breaks.
Sometimes you get a boot.
Sometimes you really just gotta, you can come back to it too, and you work hard at it too, which I'm learning. But generally, most of the songs I do are stuff like that feeling that comes out and express, and hopefully I get a whole song out of it in that moment.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you think this is, I mean, you've obviously been doing this project for a while, the two of you and whoever else is involved as well, but is this kind of an ongoing thing regardless of whatever else you guys are doing? Like, do you think you'll always be doing music together? Is that sort of
I think so. Yeah. We're always, without question, we'll be like this.
It's just regardless of
what's going on, whether we're playing or we're still going to be playing together.
Let's give us one, I guess, right? That's a good thing. Yeah. I guess you can't really just quit.
Knock on wood, I guess.
You never know. I don't know if any of this is actually wood.
Yeah. No, we're in trouble.
Yeah. That's cool. Are you planning on touring with this record?
Yes, we are. Yeah. We're going to go out west.
In July, yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, right after Folk Fest. Yeah. And we'll also be joining Folk Fest, doing the traveling minstrel.
Right on.
Minstrel thing, yeah.
Have you done that before?
We have. We have done it the last 2 years. So, and we love doing it. I mean, just to go and play for the volunteers and stuff where they don't always get an opportunity to go
because they're making food or cleaning or whatever.
They're making it happen, So, it's nice to return it to them so they can get something out of it.
Are you guys big Folk Fest guys?
Love Folk Fest. That would be a big influence on us when we started our band,
Just being around all that kind of thing?
Well, our parents had brought us to Folk Fest at such a young age, and I mean, we just soaked it up, and like that's where we knew we really wanted to become musicians. I think, too. Okay. It's like, this feels right.
Were you often around this kind of music before that? Even before that, like, did you grow up with this kind of music in the household, folk music?
Our grandpa was a record collector, and he had over 60,000 records.
Holy crap!
60,
That's ridiculous.
My dad grabbed whatever he liked when he was young, and now I got back that.
Right on.
And I'm tired of carrying all those records. Holy crap!
Yeah.
It's not 60,000 anymore.
Yeah.
It's way less, but still a lot of records.
Well, especially if you have to move. Moving into the records is the worst. I mean, I'm never gonna get rid of my records, but it's a pain.
Big wood crates.
Yeah.
It's like 100 pounds.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But like you obviously absorb that stuff then.
Yeah, our dad was always a huge music lover, and he plays a little bit. But
cool.
He just listens, and he's big encyclopedia for us. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
Encyclopedia, yeah.
Well, that's good. That's what you want too, right? Because I mean, I feel like now, I keep saying I feel like because of all these like ideas of what music is now. But like as someone who still listens to physical media, I never got into Spotify or any of that stuff. I'm just like too much of a Luddite to really get involved in any of that. I still listen to tapes and CDs and records, and I kind of feel like you almost need people who have that encyclopedic knowledge of music because it's not really there anymore. Because now everything is just suggested to you. Now it's just like, here's a playlist, go, right? And you're not, you're not like, you hit the button, it plays music, which is great, and you hear new stuff, which is great, but you're not getting the information about who the songwriter is, you're not getting information about who produced it, and that was kind of the way that I've always grew up finding new music in the first place. Was like, oh, this guy wrote a song, and it's been covered by this other band. I like this. Who's this guy? What's his band? And then from there. So it's kind of nice to have someone around who does have that kind of.
Like opening an album and reading about it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it points you in a bunch of different directions, right? That maybe an automatic playlist isn't gonna do necessarily. But, that's just like my weekly shitting on the way young people listen to music episode. But do you back to the Folk Fest thing though? I mean, your band seems like it would be a good fit in a lot of festivals in general. Are you planning on doing festival shows?
We hope to do it. I think we were a little late this season to apply for these festivals in this album. Unfortunately, but we're still gonna head on tour. But I think we'll definitely try to tackle it next year for the festival scene. I mean, we love festivals, so
we also like going to festivals.
Just
experiencing.
Well, there's so many of them now too. Locally, even there's a million. Every week I hear a new one that I'd never heard of before.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's cool. So when the album, by the time people hear this, the album will already be out. Where can they find the record? I mean, obviously going to a show would be the ideal place to pick one up, but
well, it'll also go online for sure after be up there. We'll probably have to get into some stores too.
Probably just got to see
Was the decision to do physical media, was that something you always planned on doing? Like, I mean, a lot of people now will just do digital release only. I'm glad you did a CD because I still listen to CDs.
Yeah, we thought about it. We were wondering like how many people are going to be buying CDs now. Like,
yeah.
At this point, it almost feels, especially in Winnipeg, you see people with the records.
Yeah.
People are actually selling some records. It's pricey. It's almost like it's going to be vinyl, like all out, like kind of analog versus.
Yeah.
Downloads, right? Yeah. So we didn't buy many CDs just in case. Couldn't always replicate.
Yeah, it was a tough call, but I think a big portion of our fans are big music lovers, so they always want to have something physical.
Well, especially from a show, right? You want to go to a show and bring something home with you.
Yeah, designed it all too. Like,
yeah. Well, if you're going to that level too, you obviously want people to experience the whole thing, start to finish, and looking at the liner notes and in the order it was. Set,
like it's not like we're just releasing a single, right? Or
yeah.
There's that one song. You want the whole thing, a whole story into a whole album, you know, and a whole big experience.
It might be easier actually.
So if people are hearing about you for the first time or hearing you for the first time on this show, what's the best thing for them to do if they want to find out more information?
Well, we're all over the social media too. Like, you can check us on our website at the-sturgeons.com.
Okay.
I mean, we're on Facebook and Instagram. We do have a Twitter account. I haven't quite dove into that that area quite yet. But
it exists?
It exists, yeah.
Cool. And then the tour dates, I imagine, and all that will be on the website?
Yeah. The website's got everything
cool.
you really need.
Okay, awesome. Well, if people want to hear more episodes of this show, including the one you guys did, I don't know, it must have been 2 or 3 years ago now, with Rory and the Ruckus. It's all on witchpolice.com. You can download or stream anything dating back to 2012. It's also, we're on social media everywhere too. Look for Witchpolice. It'll be there.
Both our other albums are on Spotify as well.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, well, yeah, thanks a lot, guys, and good luck with the tour.
I'm not at all afraid of dying. You don't really own me, 'cause I will live every day with a smile. You don't really own me. Crack the whip, my head keeps pounding. Don't really own me. Wake up and look at your surroundings. You don't really own me. We'll stand up in one way or another. You don't really own me. Join together and soon you will discover you don't really own me. 'Cause I'm not afraid of dying. Live every day with a smile. 'Cause I'm not afraid of crying. Live every day with a smile. To ask me again. You don't really own me, 'cause I would fight to the last breath. You don't really own me. I'm not at all afraid of dying. You don't really own me, 'cause I will live every day with a smile. You don't really own me. I'm not afraid of every day with a smile. I'm not afraid of dying. Live every day with a smile. day.